how should a fresher keep a track what is going on into IT?
When you go for an interview, say, I am Java developer.
How did you make these leaders trust you?
Why?
Now the world runs on AI.
AI itself is very user friendly.
Yes.
Visibility. It's very important. One message for girls I have is they are sent into a professional college because you will get a good match.
Namaste, namaskar, and a very happy new year to everyone. Let this year be filled with growth and innovation. Many students who come to us for enquiries, they ask us a very simple question. I belong from a non-IT background. Will I be able to start my career into IT sector? And to those questions, I have a live answer today. We are mic'd up with a techie with 18 plus years of expertise into multi-year cracking billion-dollar deals in insurance and financial sectors, specialized in development also. But before achieving this career expertise, she was a simple science graduate with specialization in mathematics and chemistry, after which she went to Masters of Computer Applications and then started her career into IT. Let me welcome Miss Kavita Srivastav, the Director Client Solutions in a multinational company. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Let me give you a memento as a part of gratitude from us. Ma'am, before we start, since I came across your profile, one question which is sticking my mind continuously is, after completing graduation into mathematics and chemistry, what brings you to learn masters in computer application and then start your career into IT?
So that was not plan A, that was plan B.
Okay.
So I come from a very small city and I'm from UP and I was trying to crack IIT, which I couldn't because I had to travel to a different city for coachings.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it in year one. So I had two options, either to take a break, um, career gap, or continue. So I decided to continue pursuing BSc rather than taking a gap because I knew there are alternate options. In masters I can do a specialization, so it was plan B. Basically that's how I came into masters of computer applications.
So, as a fresher, where did you start your career journey? As on what designation?
As a fresher, I would say I was lucky enough that there was, when I was in college, even in fifth semester, there was a company called Active Media Technologies, which was a part of India Today Group. So they came to our campus and two of the girls got selected. So
You were the one.
I was one of them and I was lucky enough to get selected over there. It was a small setup. So if you remember those old eras, those were picture messages,
Yes.
SMS, you
Yes.
send the score, cricket,
Yes.
crick to some number.
Correct.
So those back-end picture messages we had to develop.
Okay.
So that is how I started. And after that, I joined a product company as a part of off-campus. I got selected as in the off-campus.
You started your journey into some kind of development, as you said just now, picture messages at the back end, these kind of scripting you used to do.
Yes.
So, I would say you started your career as a developer. The habits that you built at that time, do they help even now? And if yes, what were those habits? Technical habits, I would say.
Um, yeah, because see, one, as I said, right, came from a background, I started my career with both. The second company was also not a very big company. It was 1,000+ people product company. So in the smaller company, what you have, you are like one man army. You have to do everything. So lucky enough to see the server side, to see the front end, to see the back end, and also all operational stuff. Like, okay, you work on Excel, you work on PPT, you whatever.
Right.
In the bigger companies, you don't get such kind of exposure. So that helped me being able to understand the end-to-end picture. like, okay, what's happening on the server, what I am writing in the front, and even testing. Okay, testing also we had to do. Okay, mobile, there are 10 types of mobile, you have to see how the output is coming. And again, in the next company, which was my proper job, there also, from what I am developing to how it is going to the end user. But at the back end, when we say technology part of it, what were the habits? It's like making sure, okay, one thing is like client.
Right.
For client is your supreme. Okay, you are doing your whatever business or whatever company you are working for, they all are working for the client. So
Right.
the client has to be happy.
Happy.
IT is just an enabler. So that is one thing. The second thing is that which I learned early is like your small mistake in coding could cost a lot to business.
Obviously.
So you have to be very careful about it. For you, it's one small carelessness, inducing one bug into the code may bring the whole production code down. So that understanding has to be there, which is still helps me when I am looking at the solutions that, okay, maybe we are compromising on the quality and this may hurt the business very bad. So you are taking some requirement as casually, but it may be very important. We generally call it NFRs, non-functional requirements in business terms. Like something taking a load. You are saying that, okay, you wrote a piece of code which can handle 100 users. Okay, but your business is expecting, okay, you should grow a scale up to 500 and you have not written a scalable code use. Or you write a thread which is getting into a lock. Very basic thing. Getting into locking an object and you are just into a deadlock situation, you lock the object and concurrent threads and you're gone. Your application crashes. So those kind of things are you study, but in the real life when you implement, you have heard, you have to relate to it that, okay, what is going to be the live scenario if it happens with my code. So that thought process I think remained, which always
That
there.
even
Yes.
helps you even today.
Even today, because we are solving business problem. You have to be of business mindset. You are writing a piece of code to solve a business problem. That should be your thought process. It is not like you are writing a piece of code to get output. We, as a developer or as a fresher, we just get stuck to, okay, I want to get this output and say hello world. But why are you writing hello world?
Ha. That is a question even sometimes arises to me. Why do you write hello world?
That's just like we still learn twinkle twinkle little star. So maybe it's, you can write anything, but yeah, but it's like
hello world. So after scripting, testing, development, when did you realize you should go beyond coding?
Okay, so this also I would say is not something which is like happened suddenly. I always had this mindset of like doing something different. I like doing different things. So when I was in college, you won't believe, I went to my college principal to ask like, can I switch from MCA to MBA?
While learning, you went and asked to the principal.
Yeah, so because I like their books more, and this is why, because in MCA you have a subject where you have to also learn about the management. It's a management topic. One semester you have, and where you have to study all the MBA books. So I got so so excited with that area, the human resource management and the motivation pyramid and all of that, and I felt like, oh, this sounds interesting. What are I doing in the code? Let me go and ask my principal. And then fee was one thing which was like, okay, almost double the fee. I said, okay, I can't afford it, let's go back. But yes, that is one thing. The second thing is that thankfully my first company was a product company where situations were such that within 1.5 years, I got an opportunity to move to onsite and talk to business users, where I was able to sit with AVPs of the bank and present the solution of my company. You won't believe the very first day when they got to know that I am such a junior person and the senior lead for whatever reason his personal issues, had to move back. They got very upset. The room was very tense. I was not in that room. I got to know it later. But then there was a business user who knew, because I had been writing the gap analysis document along with my technical counterpart who was at onsite. So he was talking to client, he was sending me the specifications. I was the one putting the system prototypes and screenshots and all of that. So she knew my name. So he told, okay, at least talk to her one time. The only reason they agreed, because they knew that, okay, even if this girl doesn't understand more on technology side, she understand all our requirement. If she is not
Solutions.
able to do it, she will get somebody to do it from offshore.
So she
will
has the
she
solution.
can explain what we need because she has it in the gap document. So that is how I got that opportunity, and from there it started. Then UAT, I also lied. When you are doing user acceptance testing, you are sitting with actual users, you are talking to them, okay, I want to do this. Okay, so the mindset shifted from that, okay, I have to make this screen. It's not about you have to make this screen. Why there is a drop down? Why this drop down has a certain order? Why the tab jumps from one field to directly to fifth field? Why do you want to automate certain things? Why do you want certain things to be auto populated? There, if I select one value, why do you want the other value to be auto populated? So those kind of things, when I sat with users, I realized their issues, and I said, okay, there is a logic. If I just change the simple thing, okay, so for example, tab movements, they want the cursor to jump as soon as they use the tab. They don't want to use mouse because it makes their speed
Just
slow.
on a click, that's it.
Yeah, just on the click. Because what is their target? They are inputting certain data into the system, and their speed depends on the speed of how fast the data entry is.
Correct.
But for us, it is like, okay, moving. We test with the mouse, right?
We use the mouse,
yeah,
yes.
we
are
the
not on the
mouse,
keyboard.
Okay?
Sir.
We are not on the
Correct.
keyboard. I'll give you an example of this railway reservation system. That black screen was there for a long time because it was fast.
Yes.
So sometimes it is like we don't understand. We just, oh, this doesn't look good.
Yes.
But for them, this is their business. This is how they can be productive. So yeah. So from there, it just continued. It continued for 5 years. I thought I will change the job and all, but it kept on giving me opportunities. One of from the career side also, and because I traveled outside India, I made so many friends who are still my friends. So both ways, it was fulfilling as a professional journey also, and as a personal journey also for me. So just like that. But I still switched back. When I joined Infosys, I was again back to technical code. But then it was like, no, I'm missing something. I don't like the back
My aura is in a different
So
place.
after 2 years, again I got opportunity, and then I said, okay, let's move.
This is my
This is my calling. Correct. So everybody have a interest area. You will figure it out eventually. Sometimes, but yes, most cases. If you talk to anybody who has spent 10-15 years in industry, in most cases, I'm saying, if you ask them, why are you here? Their journey is shaped by their job. If somebody is into infrastructure, the answer will be, this is what I was given. But there are people, including one of my own classmate, I know, he sets his target every year. 2 years I have to achieve this. In terms of salary also, in terms of personal growth also, he has his own target. In 2 years, I have to go away. So there are some people who have a clear vision that I want to do this. And there are some people, okay, I am getting this opportunity and I'll make the best use of it. Both is fine. Whatever works for you, both is fine.
But you should learn over the span. You should understand your interest.
You should not get stagnated. Even if you are into a certain area, okay, your company put you into infrastructure at a job, but there also there is a ladder to go up. You have to keep seeking those things. So you have to keep making sure that, okay, somebody is there high up on the ladder. I talk to them. How do I reach from here to there?
Right.
So So for example, my motivation right now is like, we have VPs, EVPs.
Yes.
When I talk to them, I said, I just want to be there. You tell me how to cross that line. Correct. Right? So at least you should have a target in your mind. Where do you want to reach? Getting a job at a fresher level, your only this thing is getting a job.
So after that?
But after that, sometimes somewhere on the journey, you lose your track and you, okay, I'm happy with the job, I'm getting the salary. Salary becomes a target. Okay,
Yes.
okay, this person is getting this much of package, that person is getting that much of
Comparison
package.
starts. Huh?
Comparison starts, and then you get stuck into a loop of just changing the companies, and sometimes in the process doing the same repetitive task, and then you say my job is boring.
We forget to focus on the process. We just consistently focus on the goals. Somehow we forget to concentrate on the process. Right. So your current designation is Director, Client Solutions. How would you explain in your words this designation to our freshers?
Okay. So it's little tricky because it's an area which is different for every organization.
Right.
But I'll start from a very basic example. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you, and I'm taking a non-IT example. Okay. For example, that Nirma powder case study, right? So I'm not talking about the case study which everybody knows. I am just saying that there was a problem. The problem was the clothes were dirty.
Okay.
And somebody had to make a solution that will solve that problem. Okay. So somebody made that formula and then somebody sold that problem.
Right.
Formula. So there goes a lot in that cycle. Somebody promoted, there were ads, there were people who went and told door to door, sold door to door that okay, this is what it is, and the product was a
Came
big
into the
success.
market. Yes.
It came into the market. So similarly, there is a sales cycle in IT also. You open a company, you are doing something, but how does the others know? You do certain marketing, your salespeople will go. Now the salesperson says that okay, I have got the opportunity. This client is saying I will take your product. But the salesperson is a salesperson, he is not a technical person. So how do I convince the client that I will be able to match your requirements? So then goes the pre-sales team. Okay, and now pre-sales team also has a different roles where there will be people, business analysts who talk about your requirement. There will be functional analysts, there will be technical analysts, and they will tell you that okay, if I make something, again it depends on product or custom applications, but okay, if I make something for you, it will solve your problem, and this is how the amount of effort or the charges will be.
Correct.
So this is where the whole thing comes. Now this is a bigger picture, right? Now I make it little even more bigger. So this was a proactive selling. Now there is a bridge to be built in your city. What does government do? They send out the tender. Tender would have a certain specification that okay, I want this to be done, and you give your quotation.
Correct.
Who is going to fill the tender? Tender has to be filled by a team.
Yes.
Led by somebody. Now tender will be filled. The person who is filling the tender doesn't know how much cement, how much effort it will take. You are arriving at a costing by talking to a team of engineers. Now fit this into IT. I am selling a product, maybe insurance product, or a product for healthcare, or a product for life sciences company. My product does something. I go to them. They say, okay, I want to do this. Now at the back end, I would have to talk to people. So this is where who will talk to the people? Sales people do not have this much of time. They are always on the field. So there is a back end team which will know the people who can do this job, the technical, the functional, the core product team, and they will talk to them. They will sit with them. Okay, this is what client is asking. This is what my product already has, and this is what the gaps are. Now we have to develop this. So what will it take? It may have a certain format. There are a lot of other things. You have to make presentations. So a lot of areas are there. If you talk about sales cycle, there are regular presentations. There are designers are needed, and based on the size of company, it overlaps with marketing.
Right.
You do a lot of events. You might have heard about these researchers, Gartner, Forrester, Everest, HFS. They all keep on publishing report that this company is in the leaders quadrant or whatever. How does that data come from? You participate. As an organization, you participate in those surveys. So depending on every organization structure, either marketing or the pre-sales team would be doing or contributing to these activities, including your annual reporting. When you are talking, you are publishing results and all. Depends on company size and the way you have structured. But all I'm telling is that just coding is not enough. while it is a core business, you also have to sell the product.
Correct.
And to sell, there is a big sales cycle which
Sales
goes
cycle.
into. So you can say it's a matchmaker between what client wants and
what you're
yeah.
going to
So
deliver. Right.
yeah, two people are trying to get married, but they don't know how to find the match. So you
you
are
are
the
a matchmaker.
matchmaker. Keep finding. Yeah. So
That's a
somewhere,
good
yeah.
definition, matchmaker. Wow. Uh, how should a fresher keep a track for the or explore their what is going on into IT while they are focusing on their career also, and what is trending as well? How should they keep explore
Very
these
good, very
things?
good question. So okay, so I will ask you a question. If you want to get the news, you will go to Facebook, WhatsApp, or you will read a newspaper or watch a news channel.
Mobile, of course.
No, but on mobile, what mobile? There are so many
I'm
things.
not a Facebook user, but yes, I am an Instagram user. Maybe I go on Instagram or Google is
Or
there
or
again.
maybe on Twitter.
Twitter is there, which is professional way. Yes.
Okay. No, you can't say it's professional.
So obviously,
Twitter
I
also
can't
you will.
expect
Yeah,
youngsters to go on Twitter except for cricket or some sports activity.
That is where the problem is.
Right.
That is where the problem is. See, you want to keep yourself updated with the trends and you want to hear what the social so-called media influencers and others, what is coming on Facebook or what is. Get the proper channels, right? Who has stopped you in looking into what Gartner is saying, what Forrester is it not, is the name not known to you? If not known to you, then you talk to your seniors, people who are and maybe I would not say that this is their fault. When they come out of college, nothing is being taught over there.
Right.
But once you are in the industry, and this mistake is made by everybody unless you get a very good mentor. And I'm telling you, with my experience, if somebody is on the technology side, there will be still people who don't have this visibility. Because because I am into a different field, I got this wider view. But I'm saying that follow people who you know are the experts in the area where you are in, you have the interest. And the second thing is that don't run after everything. You cannot be expert of everything.
Right.
Choose your area. Expertise matter. When you go for an interview, you say, I am Java developer. I'm just a Java developer. I am full stack developer. You will fit everywhere. But if you are going to a product company, suppose a product company which makes equipment for healthcare companies, sorry, not equipment, the softwares for the healthcare company, or company which makes the software for life sciences, or there could be companies which makes ERP, those kind of systems, HRM. There could be product companies, or there could be custom applications. But whenever there is a hiring, typically at the back end, there is a demand. Company doesn't hire like that. Ask questions. As a fresher, sometimes it may not be given, but sometimes you know that, okay, this company works into this department. If I'm being hired, I'm being hired for a certain maybe domain,
Right.
or a particular technology, or you may have your own interests. You may be working, you may not be working, but you follow, at least try to build some expertise. And also domain, I think, is very important, because one area, when you start understanding the business, you make I believe you make less mistakes in the coding. It's not careless coding then.
Right.
It's a responsible coding.
You get a flow.
You get a view. And there is I'll also tell you, there is a sense of achievement. I have personally felt that okay, I solved a business problem, because you can relate to it, that okay, this was a business problem. When you put that weight on that okay, this solved a problem, if you can see that larger picture, and even if you were a small part of that whole thing, that gives you a personal satisfaction also, and gives you motivation
Right.
to work.
After achieving such a huge expertise in various multinational companies you've been working with, can you tell some ninja technique to our freshers where they can convert their boring task into meaningful solutions or meaningful opportunities?
See, there are two things, okay? One, your own boring task, okay? So first of all, which I keep telling my team also, act like a lazy person. I don't want to do it. Boring? Why should I do the repetitive task? I would write a tool for it. And sometimes I don't have a tool for it. I know that manual work, if it's a repetitive task, I know that it will take me 15 minutes to do this task.
Yes.
But I have spent myself 3 hours writing a piece of code or finding a way to automate so that these 15 minutes every day are saved. I had to give extra time, nobody told me. It's just that it gives you satisfaction. Oh, I don't want to. So this could be which excites you the other part. Okay, so I was into non-technical thing. I am doing certain things which are manual in the sales or pre-sales area.
Right.
I didn't have the need to write a piece of code for anything. But no, not necessarily piece of code. Maybe just a small automation script, a small batch script. You will laugh, okay? I acted so lazy that, okay, if there is a file folder and there are 50 files into that. Now even Windows operating systems have evolved so much, so there are a lot of ways to put those names. But suppose in a folder there are 50 files, you need to take the name. There was a time you have to take it manually. But there is also a DOS command.
Yes.
You can list and you can send the explode to a text file.
Right.
It's like you know it, but do you implement it?
No.
Does it come to your head? No, maybe not. You know the DOS command, you know you can list the files and you know you can send the file output, but when I tell you to tell me the list of the files and you or compare the two folders, are you manually checking it? The names?
No. At least not as of now, no one is doing it.
No, I'm just giving an example. I'm
Yes.
not, there are newer technologies now.
Yes,
Sometimes it's like Copilot is there. Sometimes it's like, okay, I don't know what changes you have made. Okay, Copilot is there. If you're allowed to use it, give it the feed, tell it to compare. Sometimes it is there, it's just that you do not think in that way, and that thinking itself takes time, right? So to change that mindset, bring that thing that, okay, technology is here to solve my problem. If I am getting into a boring thing, either it is repetitive and I need to solve the problem, or it doesn't interest me, then you find your own calling. It could be an area though, okay, some people would be like, oh, I don't like IT at all, I don't like coding only. Like me. So you have to, yeah, so then you have to find some alternate way, right?
Your interest
It's
you need
okay,
to
yeah,
find.
more. And
Yes.
as a fresher, I would say you can take more challenges. If you really do not have, I understand a lot of people come from the background where you cannot take challenges, you cannot take risks, you have education loan and all. But as long as you have flexibility, be ready to take risks. You can only take risks when you are fresher.
Right.
People, as a
At
fresher,
your
you
peak
think that I
point-
will settle and do the things. The
No.
reality is once you settle, you can't do anything.
Right. At the peak point, you can't think of going
We
back.
become, with the age, we become very advert to risk taking. Our capacity only reduces, right? It's just the age, mindset, whatever you say. As you grow more mature, you will avoid taking risk because of the responsibilities, because of lot many other things.
Correct.
So we all have gone through that. Everybody,
Yes.
you talk to any senior person, they will say, as long as your parents are okay that you are jobless, take risk, it's
Take
okay.
risk is okay. Right. Before we proceed, let's do a rapid fire round.
Oh my God.
So the first answer that comes to your mind, quickly tell. Okay, and if you give me all these answers, we have a gift hamper for you again.
Oh my God.
So my first question to Kavita ma'am is, one corporate buzzword you secretly hope disappears.
Hello.
Why is it so?
One,
One corporate word. Why is it hello?
not not a corporate buzzword. I just want my teams to disappear saying hi, because at any point of time somebody would say hi. But corporate buzzword to disappear, no, there is nothing like I would say to disappear. There is nothing. Everything is there for a reason.
Right. The most unexpected skill you had to master to succeed in pre-sales. Any
I
such
can't
thing?
think of.
Any skill which you thought, I did
I'm
this.
thinking. I don't think I came across any such scenario, but I'm thinking what could be the most weird that I can say. Maybe designing the PowerPoints.
Designing the PowerPoints. Okay. So it was challenging for you when you started with designing PowerPoints for the first time, second time, maybe.
So for the first time, actually, it was not pre-sales. I was as a developer only. The first time, the challenge which I faced was Excel. When we study in college, we learn about coding, and I had to prepare a data dictionary. My
Using Excel.
Data dictionary in the Excel.
Excel. Huh?
So, and it had 1,000 records, and you would laugh. Okay, it was first week of my job. You would laugh. I did not know how to put filter. I would scroll from top to bottom, do my thing. I would
For
send the mail to
1,000
my
entries, you went from top to bottom.
no, not everything was like empty. It was already done by my
Right,
lead. He would say that, okay, row number this, right? Sometimes some rows he also missed.
Right.
That, okay, and check. He said, oh, and check the blank record. So the blank records, I will just scroll from top to bottom, and then I send him mail. 10 minutes is reply. You did not check this row, and I was like, 3 days it happened continuously. 4th day I asked, how are you able to check so far? He said, filter. I said, what is filter?
Oh
Okay,
my God.
so that was my this thing.
Challenging.
PowerPoint presentation, it was like we had designers and all, so I didn't have to do it, but it was not like something very challenging. It
But
was
yes, you had to
interesting
learn.
rather.
Yes.
Initially, you feel like, oh, how do you do that? The problem is you are looking at a person who is at a very high level, and
Correct.
it's like, oh, going over your head what they are
And how
doing
to
so
ask
fast,
them
how
again.
to ask them. But then you make friends, you ask them, and then tell you
Yes.
once you
Until then,
understand.
it is a task.
Until then, it is a task. The other thing is that you take doing things. There are shortcuts in everything.
Yes.
Okay, so raising the font, increasing, you try to remember the menu.
Yes.
And every year that new version gets released, and you forget
Correct.
the menu. Keep on searching where the menu has gone. New
Menu,
version has come.
Yes.
I'm still used to of like very basic. Like there are
Yes.
some keyboard shortcuts that I use
Yes.
in Word and PowerPoint and whatever. That doesn't change, thankfully. So,
Yes.
so you take some mastery over those, remembering those. So initially, the problem is that even if you know, it takes time for you to deliver.
Correct.
So just
So that
repetition.
helped you later in pre-sales also.
It's still today, half of the majority of the work we do is the presentation. At the end of the day, you have to present the solution.
Right. A deal moment that made you think this will go down in my career history.
I submitted a deal. I was just screaming on top of my lungs. The submission was not ready. The file was uploading, and it just got uploaded 1 minute before the site was to be closed, and we would have lost millions.
Your heart might have pumped with the speed of.
I screamed at my manager, you won't understand, because he already started celebrating. Then he started singing song in the room, and I screamed at him. I said, stop it. It's not gone. Just keep quiet. Later on, I said sorry also. Thankfully, it's like, it's still, I was still, my heart is still pounding that moment, thinking about that moment,
Yes.
okay? Because I was playing the role of the bid manager, okay? And bid manager is the person who holds things together, who the bottom line responsibility is deal must get submitted, okay?
Yes.
There would be 30,000 people working on it, doesn't matter. At the end of day, you are the one who is going to
Responsible
press the
person.
button that,
Correct.
okay, done, submitted. I was like, oh.
And it is launched.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because compliance is it's a lot of it matters a lot, and for clients, when they have given you to respond to an RFP for 1 month, and then you say a last minute, a few minutes, and this and that, technical glitches do happen,
Of course.
sometimes, but typically client also expect that you submit. You know, right, your end time, then why I have to go on the last minute and do things?
Correct.
So it's
If your work style had a movie name or a tagline, what would that be?
crazy 24 hours.
Crazy 24 hours. Hashtag crazy 24 hours. Last question on the rapid fire. What's harder, building the perfect solution or aligning 10 stakeholders on one decision?
Aligning 10 stakeholders. And it's not even 10.
I was expected this coming.
It's not even 10, sorry.
It's more than that, of course. Wow. So we have a gift hamper. What kind of routine you need to build if you have to be a long-term expertise?
Okay, so I'll just give an example. My first lead, okay, he told me one thing. He said, Kavita, and I still respect him for that. He says, Kavita, look at your resume. Okay, the only way you can grow is like look at your resume at the end of the day and say, what did I learn today? Can I add one single word to my resume? Okay, I'll say not even forget daily, even in one month, you pick up your resume and just see, can you add one more skill? Or can you add a little bit more level of expertise? Okay, I was beginner, now I am advanced. If you keep looking at it and say that, okay, my target is at least in a month I have to add that skill as a fresher, or add some certification, or add something to it, one more line to my resume, you will be focused. We take out time for everything. Set aside a time. Time management is very important. We set aside a time. All of us uh, get into routine task. But if there is something like if you are preparing for UPSC examination, right? You have a target. You put it on the wall.
Timetable.
When you were on the board exams, when you are doing the board
Yes,
exams,
we have a
okay,
timetable.
you have a timetable. You have something on the board. Keep reminding yourself every day. So as a fresher, also after you got the job, it's not end, right? You keep your target high and keep reminding yourself at a regular interval,
Correct.
and do something to upgrade that. I would say that reminder itself is a great motivation that, okay, this is not where I have to stop. I have to somehow make time to do it. I may have to choose between giving up on uh, some social event, some time out for myself, and I have to do it.
Yes.
So that focus should not go away.
Correct.
For board exam, you leave everything.
So you
No
should have
festival, no
a
parties.
schedule. You should have a timetable.
Yeah, you should. You should. Even if it is weekly, you can take it at your own pace. Yeah, that is what you have to decide how fast you want to go. You want to enjoy life, or you want to do whatever. You may have other hobbies. So, like, you give time for, and you should give time for hobbies also.
Yes.
That keeps you balanced.
Right. If someone has a year or max 2 years of experience, so what kind of thinking as a consultant they should have?
Observe, question like a child that you don't know anything. Fine. Keep on asking why. So and in a college, you generally hear that study about root cause analysis, or if not in college, I don't know the syllabus now, but if you go to corporate, it was like root cause analysis of the issue. Issue happened. What is the root? You have to write 3 whys. Why? 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 So one leads to another. This happened. Why this happened? Okay, because of this, and why this happened because of this, and why that happened because of that. So 3 whys, at least 3 to 4 whys. So you are writing a piece of code. Why? Then okay, this will do this. Why?
Everything
How?
should
Okay,
have.
yeah. So if you try to link those, you will be able to reach to a business problem, and then that visibility helps you understand. There is also something called design thinking concept. You can read about it. So somewhere it is like everything is going normal. For everybody, it thinks that there is no problem, but there would be somebody who will come up that there is a problem and you have to solve that problem. And I'll not give an IT example, I'll give you a social example. There was a sati pratha. The whole society was okay with that until somebody came and said, no, there is a problem. And there is a problem and we have to solve it.
Solve it.
Right? So you have to be that kind of thinker. So sometimes they feel like, okay, this is how things are done, or this is how the things are, and there you could be a mindset that why do I need to do it? Can it change? Are others are also doing it this way? And if this has been continuing for so long, is there a better way of doing things? So think differently, ask questions, be curious, and go beyond your friend circle and peers, okay, because they are at the same level as yours. Sometimes your manager may be very supportive, may not be supportive. Go beyond that. Not necessarily is escalation related to your project. In general, you keep in touch with your seniors, talk to them,
Correct.
take their experience. That
Correct.
helps.
To the viewers who are just joined as a fresher or have hardly a year or 2 years of experience, as I asked ma'am, and as she suggested, you should have at least 3 whys. Why, and why. You should know the reason. You should ask each time why I have to do this, why this should be happened, why it is going to be worked likewise.
But ask on the right time. When
Ask
manager
on the
assigns
right
you a task, don't say why.
Why manager assigned me this? This should not happen. Obviously,
Uh,
obviously.
Yes.
Yes. Uh, you are working into pre-sales. You are giving solutions to the clients, not in small scale, but to multinational companies. Um, the leaders there might be some leaders previously working to you. So, how did you make these leaders trust you, or what skill? What was your skill which made them trust you?
See, in these kind of scenarios, commitment and consistency are the two things. Okay, commitment, one, specifically commitment. Okay, because mostly our jobs are like it is time bound. You have to deliver in this, and you have to, as you said, right, getting 10 stakeholders to agree on one thing.
Yes.
That is a big problem. You have beyond all of those challenges, no, you cannot, you know, all of the challenges are there, and every RFP or proposal brings its own unique challenges. Despite all of that challenges, your timeline doesn't move, which would mean that you have a very irregular working hour. If tomorrow is the submission and you are like nowhere close, nobody should tell you that okay, it has to be done. It should be, you should be self driven that this is
I have
mine,
to do
I have
this.
to do it. Does it, even if it requires me 18 hours to work, 20 hours to work, it has to go. And if that trust comes in that okay, I have given it to this person and I will not get an escalation, or I will not get an escalation, but at the same time the trust that okay, it is going beyond control and it may break somewhere, you raise an alarm, giving enough time to the management that okay, it's not. So two things: one, either it is out of control, you give sufficient time, that kind of credibility. The second thing is if it is manageable but going little stressful, you don't go on complaining, right? Because that's the nature of job that you have signed up for. So that gives you
Consistency works.
consistency and like commitment, that okay, I have said this, now whatever adjustment I have to make, I will make. I will not come up with the
Gen
excuses.
Z should listen to this
Yes,
suggestion,
yes,
especially.
definitely.
Commitment and consistency both goes hand in hand.
Yeah, for bigger growth, right? In corporate, it's like beyond a certain point. It is, if you see the pyramid, the growth pyramid up is very less space.
Yes.
Right. So typically, people at the higher level want to work with the people. It doesn't go by job openings.
Correct.
If you ask anybody very senior in the ladder, it doesn't go by job opening. It goes by relationship. It be like, oh, I know that person. That person is very good. Please call that person. Okay, it works by relationship basis. So in a longer run, that is going to help you. Your commitment, people to vouch for you that okay, this is the right person. He will do or she will do the job.
What is the best way to build a professional brand in a large company?
So to make a brand, you should be specialized. Anything. You should be known for okay, nobody is doing this, this person will do. Or nobody is available to do it. Or nobody can do better than you. Or maybe not the, you may not be the best, but you could be one of the best. Okay. As a fresher, you may not be able to do everything, but you can have a certain expertise area that okay, this is where I am and I am willing to take a chance over there, even if it goes beyond my regular job responsibilities. That is one thing. Second thing is visibility. It's very important in a large organization. Like if it is a small company, 50 people, you will be known by everybody. But think about an organization like TCS, Accenture, all of these big companies. There are how many employees? Lakhs and lakhs of employees. Even if you are working on a project, sometimes it is like okay, there are 100 people, 200 people. How would a manager know you? At best, maybe 2-3 people whom you are working with. So you need to have your visibility. That also says that please go to office, show your face. Lot of people, freshers, right, especially say, oh, I'm chill, I'm working from home. If you don't have any responsibilities, and I know people do have certain responsibilities to take care, but if you can manage, at least go show your face, meet people, meet seniors, Ask questions, take their learnings, be
Or else
known.
no one will know you.
Otherwise, no one will know
It's a
you
hidden
beyond
face.
your this thing. And the other thing is that it gives you opportunity. You get to know, okay, there is an opening. And what happens internally in an organization, when it is a large organization, every organization tries to fulfill their internal demands internally only,
Correct.
right? From one team to another.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep talking to each other. Oh, there is this kind of opening. Would you like
you
to?
have?
Do you have somebody to recommend, or would you like to join? That sometimes happen. The official mail also comes that
Yes.
okay, you want to join. I'll give example of my own pre-sales. Half of the company doesn't even know what I do. We had to put a stall to explain, right? Because completely siloed. There are people who know us, and there are people who completely
Doesn't
don't know what
You don't
they are
exist.
into their own world. They don't know what we are doing. So it is like maybe you will like this job, but you need to know that there is such kind of job.
Right. It's not only coding and these things, but yes,
Yes.
IT
So
has this job
yes,
also.
yes. So you are doing something in silo. You don't get that visibility. So for visibility perspective only, maybe you will figure out something better that you may like, and will make you happy. So to explore the career options also, it is like you should keep talking to people.
As you said
Yes, you
initially,
should.
interest. You
Yeah.
should explore your interest.
Yes, yes. So visibility is also important.
Now the world runs on AI. So, how should a fresher learn AI tools but without being a data scientist? Or what are the ways they should adapt to learn AI tools? They are not data scientists, but they should be up with the track.
See here, there are two things I will say. Okay, AI itself is very user friendly.
Yes.
Okay, all of the tools, even the people who do not know how to write the proper English, it keeps on prompting. Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?
Yes.
Okay, so AI itself is very user
Yes.
friendly. The second thing is that which I also like. I was taking a training session and they were explaining. There were two things. Any AI model, okay, there is a technical part of it, how it works, the language graphs and the whole technology, how it is working on the data, how it searches the data, the algorithm and all of that. Those are the people who are building those AI models. Okay, and then there is another set which is utilizing that AI model. You can choose to be on which side, okay, but you don't need to be a data scientist to use an AI tool. To use a low code, no code application, you don't need. You to generate a Java code for a piece of code for a problem using whatever tools are available, even Copilot, for example. You don't need to know what it is doing in the back end.
Correct.
Right? You just need to know the right prompt. So the prompt engineering, focus on prompt engineering, and based on your technology skill area. Suppose you are a editor of designer, for example. You work on PowerPoints and all. So identify the tools which have the capability of working. Every tool will give you something, but there would be few tools, top three tools, which are going to give you the best.
They are aligning with your current.
They are aligning with your current expertise or current whatever nature of work. So identify those tools, learn those tools, and prompt engineering. Even in any area, it is like prompt engineering.
Yes.
So that you don't need to be like Python expert to be,
nothing
or you don't need to be data scientist. There are people to write those.
Yes.
So that is exactly was told to us. There is a pattern, there is an algorithm going in the back end. You don't need to. I am just telling you that okay, this is how it works, but you don't need to remember any of these. We are here to build it for you. You learn to use it. This is applied AI. So how you apply AI into your own this thing, you think about that.
Do you personally feel communication, presentation skills are really important for a fresher to start a career into IT sector?
Yes. I'll give a very basic example, resume. Okay. Even today, even experienced people sometimes write the resume, which is like, okay, all over the place. So presentation skill is not just the PPT, it's like how you present yourself. So even in the Word document, when you write your resume, is it written in a way that, okay, it sets you apart from others? While there will be a lot of technical, we have back end automated resume filtering mechanism in all of the portals.
Yes.
That is fine. It will pick the keywords, but after picking the keyword, and when you go for an interview, there is still a human sitting reading your resume. Okay, so it makes an impression what you have written over there, how you present, and communication skills definitely yes. Because if you are not able to express yourself, it becomes a big problem. Okay, not just not just getting selected, even after that, coordinating with the team and all of that. See, uh, if I understand, we all come from regional backgrounds, we have our regional languages. Some of us study in the regional language like local, okay, Hindi
Yes.
medium hai, Marathi medium
Murder.
hai, whatever. But when you come into the corporate world, you have to interact with the people who may not be coming from your regional state.
Correct.
Now, they can't
Globally.
understand any other. You need to find a common language, and the common language, which everybody agrees to, is like English is kind of a common
Global
language, which is
language,
globally like a wide variety,
Yes.
a wide like amount of people read that or talk in that language. So even for foreigners, if there is your client or people, your other colleagues who are sitting and working from different country, if you are not able to communicate well or write well, it is not good. And the second thing is that, okay, not just the verbal communication, even mail communication, if you don't know how to write, it's small things like when to use capital letter, when to not use, what colors do you use. Sometimes your language becomes a little bit offensive. You did not intend to write that way, but it turns out the other person take it, because there are cultural, social, a lot of things. I'll simply give you an example. Okay, I was at a client side in an Asian country. They are very soft-spoken people. Okay, and we Indians are known to be loud.
Without a
We were
doubt.
talking to each other. We were talking. Okay, normally I'm talking to each other, but high-pitched tone, because we were very into intense discussion. And somebody came and, why are you fighting? Because we were that time we were talking Hindi.
Yes.
Hindi Punjabi mix. We did not want client to, and they got super. Why are you
Fighting.
why are you fighting? Another example where there was something not happening, and we told the client counterpart, there was a junior person who had to supposed to give us data. My manager spoke a bit louder and she started crying. And then, oh, somebody shouted at me. Okay, we realized there's cultural differences also. So communication is not just being fluent, it's also being what words you are choosing. So written, verbal, physical. It's not just talking about words, it's also body language. If you sitting in an interview, you are seemingly nervous, right? It often,
is not going
it
to.
is.
So communication,
maybe
presentation
it depends on
needs-
your luck. If you are the only person over there, maybe they also don't
Yeah.
have a choice. But if it's a queue of 1,000 people, you have to stand out.
Of course.
So there, it
It is
definitely,
important.
yes, it is important. It is important.
How should one keep a track of the industrial changes and challenges that are going on?
I would say the same thing. Choose your area. You cannot be expert in everything. The second thing is that choose your sources wisely. You don't need to read about everything. You don't need to go to Facebook, Twitter, and all of that. People who follow finances follow Money Control or Economic Times, like that. I'm just giving example. I'm not saying that those only. I'm just example. So you know the sources, and if you don't know the sources, ask the people of the same industry. You will find such people on LinkedIn, which is a professional platform.
As you said, we
yeah,
can follow
you
people.
follow them. Some of them have their own blogs and all. Follow those. At the very best, you know all the top companies, right? And you take the top leaders of those companies. Follow those voices.
Right.
You will automatically be in touch with the trends. You don't need to. And then plus, if you're already into an organization, if you're at a smaller level, younger people don't bother much about what company is saying into the financial results. But most of the time, when you hear their quarter results or financial result, there will be a question where the industry is heading. What do you see? So hear those. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can fast forward if you are recording, or you have tools transcript to generate and write annual reports. Get the summary of. There are so many tools to help you now. Don't think that, oh, it's a 3 hour long, I have to see. No, tell your AI to work for you. Right? So those kind of things. Yeah.
As we come to the end of our today's interview, what is that one advice that you would like to give to your 21 years old self as of today?
So the advice I would give is like same thing which I am telling now. That following the right sources, probably I didn't do that much. Second is taking risk. I did take, but not that much. I could have taken much more risk. I did not have that kind of financial pressure from my family. I did not have to get into that. If I don't have a job, anything will happen. But I was thinking that way. Oh, what will happen if I don't have a job? Because I was getting into a different pressure. What will my classmates say? I don't have a job. Don't get into those kind of things. If you think that it is worth taking more risk, and you want to try for something else, do it. I don't have any regret of not doing it, but you never know. Life takes how life takes the turn. And the third thing, which again, I had connections. I was in touch with my seniors, but not the way it was. Hi, hello, happy new year, happy
That's
birthday, whatever, wishing. That is not called connection. Connection is when you are able to talk to your senior, take the learnings from their journey, and ask them to connect you to somebody else in their who they look forward to mentoring. Getting a mentor outside your office, okay? You don't think that, oh, this is my team and this is my office and this is my mentor. So now the channels have opened, the social media has opened, the communication has become much easier. Earlier there used to be Gmail, write a Gmail and keep on waiting. But we had that, like, oh, I am connected. Oh, do you know that senior? Yeah, I wrote mail, I wished him birthday. No, that's not the connection. In professional life, the connections have to be more meaningful. You don't need to be connected with 20 people. 5 are enough, 2 are enough, 1 is enough. If you have the right connection to guide you. Yes.
Quality is always better than quantity.
Yeah, keep looking. So I will say it sounds a little bit selfish, but
It is useful.
it is useful. It's just don't waste time. If you just have connection, yeah, it's okay to have connections. But if there is somebody whose time is like you are getting is really good, keep chasing them. They will give you time. So the one message for girls I have is like, ask yourself, why are you doing this technical course? Okay, I'll be honest. Many times, okay, I have seen they are sent into a professional college because you will get a good match. Okay, don't take it as an offense,
Personally.
but that's how I have seen that. Okay, why are you here? Because BTech का job, BTech वाले BTech शादी के लिए मांगते हैं, तो okay, fine. Whatever was the reason you are here, now that you are here, make the best of this opportunity. Sometimes girls says, it happened with my family also, that okay, not sending you so far, not sending you so far, and you give up. I can't do this because even if I crack it, my parents will not let me go. Forget about it. First you crack it. And then
Then
you
see.
go and ask for convincing.
Yes.
Most of the cases, parents, if they have come so far and they have let you study in a college, they will let you go.
Correct.
But first you do it. Don't stop yourself there. That's all I would say.
That is a very useful, means exploring thought for all the young ladies outside. Really useful.
In the Indian context, it's very
I agree. Kavita ma'am, she is an example of consistency can do miracles, I would say. And women nowadays not only work in tech, but they can lead in tech, of course. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us today. And to the audience, please go through our podcast, listen to our podcast. Your comments are welcome. Maybe if you would like to connect with Kavita ma'am, let us know. We will share you her details and you can get in touch with her to know more what is going into IT sector. Stay tuned. Let us meet with one more expertise in our next podcast interview. Thank you everyone for joining with us.